All right, 7 o'clock, I'd like to call the committee of the whole meeting for May the 9th to order. Before I get into the agenda, I'd just like to introduce Taylor Yetzke, and she's a practicum student. Maybe you can tell us what that does.
It's a chance to apply all of my knowledge that I've learned in my program here in the office. And I've been learning a lot. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of work, things I don't understand at all, which is very helpful.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much. Well, welcome here. So,
how long are you there for? 120 hours. Yeah.
40 hours a day.
Yeah.
That's like 3 weeks only. 3 days.
Yeah.
4, not even 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is a very informal meeting. So if you have any questions, you're more than welcome as the gallery to put up your hand, and we'll ask you what's going on. All right, so the first order of business on the agenda, are there any additions or deletions? Shelley, did you want to?
Yeah, I did ask if we could discuss emergency preparedness, because I'm just worried about the wildfires, and I don't know if the FCCS board has been trained and if they know the responsibilities or anything like that, so I kind of wanted to discuss that.
Okay, where do you want to put that one, though?
Mr. Mayor, 4.3, please.
4.3, okay. Any other additions? If not, can I get a motion to accept the agenda and the addition as is?
I'll make that motion with the addition.
John, all in favor? And that is carried. Item number 3. So in the last meeting we had, there was some talk that some of the staff reports possibly redundant, and councilors didn't want possibly in there. So we put them in there, and if we want to go ahead with them, we need to do a consent. So go ahead.
So the plan was not to even put the reports into the agenda, but we don't see them then.
Council wanted the report to consent agenda because they didn't want them read.
So if you want to
So
read
they're
it.
in.
Yeah, if you want to read them on your own.
Okay, what Daryl just said, I misunderstood.
Yes, no, it's fine.
Yeah. But I mean, I wouldn't mind going through whoever's here tonight, just because I have not had time to read the agenda because we got it.
I really think, myself, I mean, I still think that we should have them in there myself.
Like, yeah, definitely in the agenda, but like everybody discusses it?
Mr. Mayor, a consent agenda is, you don't go through them, you don't read them. So they're sitting in the consent agenda. If you want to go through a particular staff report in detail or ask a lot of questions, then council asks for a motion to bring them out of consent and into the proper documentation in the agenda, and then they can be discussed in the consent agenda.
So there's two options here. So the first one is a motion to accept them, and in which case they would be, they would put back into there under the right proper place. And then the other motion is if you don't want them in there, to delete them.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, we would, if the council wishes to pull a certain report out, we have a motion to, for example, if you want to pull the chief administrator's office report out, which is mine, you'd ask to have it out of consent agenda and place in its proper report, in its proper space in the agenda under 6.1. And let's say you wanted to pull the CFO variance report out, then that would go under the CFO. Then you have a motion to accept the consent items, move to the sections on.
All right. Deputy, do you have a question or a comment?
I would like to see this in here because how do we know what's what? I don't go on the computer to pull anything off. Are you going to have a printed agenda for us so we can follow along and then at home read the report?
I agree with you, yeah. So, okay, so, go ahead.
I just think the problem was is that maybe it was felt that that's all that gets done in this meeting. No business is accomplished. Yeah.
But these reports are read at the very end. They're not read at the beginning.
Well, they're read throughout the meeting, but I think it's just that there was the feeling that that's all we do during COW is read the reports and that's it. So I think it was felt maybe there should be some more business accomplished during these meetings as well. I think that was just kind of what was felt.
I like to do the report and hear them. Especially say the rec manager is here to be able to ask questions about things that are going on in the report.
Well, definitely the staff.
Yeah. I would like to see that they come out of consent and part of our meeting. This is the first time I've seen the agenda this moment.
We understand, we had some software glitches that are in the software.
So, in my mind, for sure tonight, we need to bring them out to be able to.
So really, the motion we would need to put them in there would be a motion to accept the consent agenda.
No, the motion, Your Worship. From the last council meeting, it was asked that they go into consent agenda and then the council support whichever ones they wanted to hear out. We want to hear them with a comment about story time.
Okay,
So,
I got you.
if you want to pull them all out, we have to pull them out. We would pull them out 3.1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I have to put them in the proper space back here. If council does not want a consent agenda and doesn't want this done, that means understand.
I would so move that all of the reports would be voted. For sure.
I was understanding that it was just the council one, not all of the reports. That's what I was.
I have no indicating staff report.
I think it's an exercise that we don't need to do. Either they're in or they're out. I don't really like it. The way it's being presented.
Yeah, questions you ask.
Well, I agree. That's what I said too. It's nice to be able to discuss and ask questions.
Yeah, even
4
like-
out of 5 are saying.
Even with the verbal, right, like, just when you said it, that's when it's meeting, I know times you have to get to put in, but still,
I'm not arguing. I agree with you. I said that from the start. I like hearing. I like asking questions. I like that.
Well, then why don't we just put them in here for this time, and then we can bring it back to the regular meeting. So I would need a motion to accept the consent items, the chief administration report, the public works manager report, the park direction manager report, the CF report, and the variance report, if that's what we want. Yeah.
yeah.
I
Okay,
think
I want to make
attempted
the motion
move
to
that.
take them out of consent.
And put them on the right spot.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. John, all right. All in favor? That is carried. And just, I hope we don't have to do this every time because it's confusing and I think
So then we'll just bring it up at next.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's the way I would like to see it done. Bring them in. All right, so they are back into, section 6.
They'd be, your worship, they'd be, 6.1 would be the chief administrator report.
Yep.
Carlton. The public works manager report was 6.2, parks and rec 6.3, CFO report would be 7.1.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, worship.
Okay, new business going on. 4.1, ATCO franchise fee revenue reduction. So, St. John, if you'd like to comment on that, we got a letter from ATCO Natural Gas, or is it?
I can talk,
Sorry.
because I have extra information.
Yep. Okay, thank you.
So the original letter that they sent on May 4th, I believe, said that they would go down from 77.7 to 72.335. I emailed him today because I didn't think that was correct, considering we increased the franchise fees. And he did confirm that this letter did not take that into consideration, and that we could expect $100,000 in franchise fees, which I don't know.
All right.
When I did the calculation based on his number, not including the increase, it's higher.
Anybody have any questions about that? Straightforward. All right, 4.2, 3920 municipal cooperative discussion. And first of all, on that, there's a proclamation. With say, Donna, do you want to go through that? On page 14, I believe. 13.
Thank you, Mayor. Basically, the proclamation for the 3920 Alliance with, you have a shorter one? Put it up. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Whereas the municipalities of Calmar, Thorsby, Warburg, and Breton have resolved to collaborate, whereas the purpose for this alliance is to promote prosperity, understanding, and friendship, as well as strengthening the bonds between the four communities. Whereas by cooperating and collaborating, we'll make our contributions to the development of lasting relationships through endeavors to expand municipal business and operational cooperation. Whereas by joint contribution and collaboration to enhance relations between Calmar, Thorsby, Warburg, and Breton, with a commitment to regional cooperation building under communities. Now, therefore, by our signature that gets here to the community of Calmar, Thorsby, Warburg, and Breton, hereby pledge to cooperate. Oh, just awesome. Thank you. Do hereby pledge to cooperate for a friendly and prosperous region. And it was dated 27th. Filed by the folks at the time. Thank you very much.
So it's part of the bylaws. It goes right into the structures in there. Yeah. All right, thank you. And then the other part of this is a bit of a discussion, and I was going to talk about a little in my report, but you know, it's unfortunate this 3920, we've been at it for a year and a half, and there is absolutely nothing going on. And, I hate to say that the old council was correct, but I mean, we joined it to try to build some relations and get things going, but in the year and a half that I've been there, I haven't seen any action, nothing. And I think we've got to bring it back to the next council meeting and discuss it some more. We can't make any motion today. I know that the CEOs have been meeting together, and they feel that the CEOs that it needs to be restructured, or something has to be done, because all it's doing is just spinning its wheels right now. We go to a meeting and they talk, we should do something, we should do that. We don't do anything. We never do anything. You know, we've got a video that they did. You know, they paid about $10,000 out of their funds for this video, and we piggybacked on the end. It was already going when we joined, and they've released that video, and I believe we're going to try and put it on the website. And it gives some footage of all the four communities, and basically that's all we've done. So I think we need to really take a hard look at it and you know, like I say, it's sad to say because, you know, you want to collaborate and get some things out of it, but if there's no benefit, dissolve it and spend the money, give the money back to us and give them to the other communities and go along. Let's go ahead, see you.
I think, Mr. Mayor and Council, that the CAOs have certainly, we meet monthly, and we believe that the 3920 Alliance should be more of a engagement group with the provincial ministers. And so that it, 3920 region gets recognized, so that rural municipalities are being left out. And that's part of what we have recommended in the last meeting, where on the agenda to recommend to the 3920 group. The indication was they think about it. I'm correct, Mr. Mayor, it's kind of like we'll kind of think about it. But we believe that that's a 3920 purpose. We have a pretty strong alliance here. We have a pretty strong economic corridor here. I don't think we need a bunch of economic development, but we need attention brought to the rural area. We need less money going to Edmonton and Calgary and all those cities. We need more money coming here for infrastructure and so forth that aren't matching grants and that aren't matching contributions. So we proposed that to the 3920 team. And then we thought afterwards to see, oops, we're probably going to end up doing all this work. So anyway, we should have just stayed quiet. But there's some concern with it from our perspective. We're all getting along anyway, the CAOs, but we we proposed to the 3920 group that they just be rudderless. And yeah, rudderless.
And you know, we in 2022 we met monthly, and then it was really bad, and now we're at least quarterly. But I mean, same thing. Even if you're meeting quarterly now and there's still nothing there, that's probably too much of that.
So each town has the same thought, or is it just Thorsby?
Well, it's, you know, everybody has things, and they say maybe we can do it, but nothing ever materialized, and nothing is really great ideas. But, you know, they want to collaborate, they want to share things, they want to bring people in, they want to lobby together. You know, that's the one thing I could see maybe good is that, you know, if you have something that with the municipal affairs or the municipal government to lobby together, you're stronger with 4 voices instead of 1. But there again, who determines that is, and we haven't come across anything like that, so it's just no exercise. Nothing's happening.
It seems like the 3920 is kind of stuck in old economic development mode, and the region's far beyond that right now. Municipality has their own go forward, and again, the CAOs are working very well together, but we need that extra layer, propose that extra layer to get ministers out here. In other words, we don't go to the ledge; they come here. Working with the new MLA, they come out here and they see what's going on, and they come to the next meeting once a quarter. Because if they don't come, they don't have a clue what's going on in the rural areas. If they're not a rural minister, they don't really know. It comes after the election. So you have some time to think about it, consider it, but it really stopped in its tracks 5 years ago, really.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
So our next meeting is June, and it's here in Thorsby. So we've got some time to think about it and go forward with it. But either we bring it up to the next meeting, or at one time we're going to have to make a decision here.
Well, we can talk about it on Saturday.
Yeah, we could. That's right.
Only a budget item. There's another municipality that is not happy, and discussing it through their council as well.
Yeah, it seems like at least 2 of the 4 communities aren't happy. Us being one of them. So, all right. So that's just for information there. So if I can get a motion to accept 4.1 and 4.2 for information. And 4. Oh, sorry, we need to go to 4.3 first. Thank you very much, John. Right on top of that. So, Shelley, you wanted to bring this in? Or you want to?
Because of everything that's going on, and I am on the FCSS board, and I know that there had been discussions in the past, Donna, when because she also comes to our meetings, had stated, like, if there was something to happen that caused our town to need to do an emergency procedure, the SES board would have set responsibilities and they need training, and I don't think that's been done as of yet. And I'm just concerned because I feel like it's going to be a really dry, fiery summer.
I know, sorry, Donna, I apologize to you, this has to give you an extra heads up for this here, and, maybe.
Sorry, I'm pretty good in the.
I think it's your specialty, so I'm sure you've got something you can tell us, so.
Part about, yeah, and I totally agree with you. If a wildfire happened, our rec center would be a reception center. The FCSS board would be reception. Councilor Shelley, because you're a counselor.
I know, I wouldn't be.
You're not in it. And that's okay, and Councilor Tracy as well, you have to do it now. Even in a small town, it should really work. But, over the weekend, we did, coordinate with, the Haymaker, to the whole Portsmouth Fire System, coordinating with the Haymaker Center and the Lions Club for, no charge, parking for the trailers, the Haymaker, no charge for, livestock and so forth. If something would have happened Saturday, that's why I was there all Saturday night, right? Because if something would have happened and we had to have some sort of reception center, we would headed to the community center, especially if we were taking evacuees. If they had trailers, we'd have been filling up the Lions Club, livestock out of the with the Haymaker. So if we have nothing going on at the community center, that becomes a reception center. And you're right, I haven't had the time I want to spend here yet. So in the next, once we get the budget over on Saturday, that's my next big thing that is on my agenda. We've had our AMA audit. That was at the end of March. We're fine. We're good that way. We can't make any huge changes on this right now because the one we have is good. It's fine. And then we have a new bylaw. They were totally fine with that, so that's good. So in case of understanding what a reception center is and the things that in that case, if something happened, I would take over the reception center and help FCSS. Andrew would take over the responsibility. That and you're in home for your calls to the things. So that's on my later May, June calendar. I just want to get through so, but we have been liaising with other municipalities. We certainly some of the wildfire information off the website. We certainly put it down on mowing until it rains. Just can't take spots. So I started looking at our website and started watching for it. Definitely stellar and keeping that up to date even at 10 o'clock at night. Friday or Saturday night, she's been updating. So we were on top of it. But folks are mad they couldn't mow, and I understand that.
I think it was interesting though, it said on there, but it said it wasn't going to be enforced. So basically what we were saying, that you could mow, but you're not supposed to mow, but what does that mean, Jesse?
We weren't gonna bylaw them.
Oh, okay.
We weren't gonna say you didn't mow, so we're gonna give you bylaw instructions for community
All right.
protection.
So all that's been lifted now, everything?
Yeah, and it's updated.
Did the Lions end up having some trailers down there?
I don't know,
When I went on Saturday, I didn't see any, like, maybe they were coming, but I was
There was
talking.
a phone call that there was somebody that was about 2 kilometers from the fire,
Yeah,
and could they come if they were told to evacuate, and would there be enough to hold 5 to 6 families?
okay. I know Mason, I talked to him on Friday, and he said that they were expecting some, but I went down there, I drove down there myself there, but on noon on Saturday, and they didn't see anybody yet, but they
I
did.
was there today.
Oh, was it? Okay.
There were, I actually attending the line.
Oh, okay.
And there were three officers also attended, and we did not transfer.
Good. Yeah, I'm sure that, if back to, I mean, if needed be, it's been a pretty tough weekend with the concert at the Stamford there, but obviously if we were part of the plan from the government, they would have told us.
Yeah, and we had enough space. And if you look, that's the question. If you look at the training, we go through registration. how to register, how to deal with folks that register and then leave, how to deal with relatives and that sort of thing. What a lot of folks are doing is they'll register and then all of a sudden a family member calls them and gone, so you have to deal with that, which is good, but it's purely paper. There's not always a whole lot of costs and stuff, you know, a lot of times just sitting on the floor, because municipalities cost of blankets. We probably pull some of the mats out of the gym, in the rec center, the floors, in the field house are not too terrible to sleep on, they're not too hard. And so we put folks in there. So if we'd have had to, there would have been some people listening to the concert in the field house. We would have blocked them off and we had a heck of a show, but, so we had plans of contingency for that. So it's a great question you asked.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions on that, Shelley? That's all. Good. All right, then I will ask again for a motion to accept 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3. Information. Okay, Tracy. In favor? Carried. All right, council reports. So, all you guys should not get mine in there. A couple things. Well, first of all, the council meeting on April 11th. We had a couple Zoom meetings with Denton's, just for some clerical stuff and some ideas where to go forward, and Donna is working on some of that stuff. On April 15th, I went with Dave Mann, just took a little, one of the questions was where the old pipeline came out, was there something there? So we drove down to where the old water pipeline comes out there by the Wizard, Texaco Wizard Lake gas plant. We found it. And then while we're at it, we went over to the reservoir, and we also looked at the Buford station, and all of you guys possibly after our meeting on Saturday, so if you guys hang around for a few minutes, we'll talk about that later on, maybe doing another tour there, and just so you guys know, see what's there, see what I saw. April 19th, we had our volunteer appreciation night. It was very well attended. We had 120 people there, and Donna did a sale, the MC, and it was very, like I said, very well. Interesting enough, Calmar, when we were at the 3920 thing, Calmar said that they had 25 people at their volunteer appreciation, and they had to, the only reason they got them, they said, is because they didn't charge. They can't get anybody to show up with their stuff. And I mean, you're looking at, there's about 2,500 people now compared to our 1,000, and they got 25 people, we got 120. So we did that there. April 20th, I had a meeting with Save Dawn and CFA Cindy, and we went over their performance evaluation, signed it off, and it is now in our files. April 25th was a regular council meeting, and then April 26th, as I said, I attended the 3920 meeting, and you heard about my thoughts about that. And that's all I have. Any questions? Councilor Gilbert is not here, but he gave us a thing, and if you guys don't mind, I'll report it, I'll read it for you. So for the month of April, Corey was at the committee of the whole. He was unable to attend the regular council meeting on the 25th. He attended the LRHF Finance Committee meeting, and there's some upcoming dates and events. May the 10th, which is tomorrow, 8:30 to noon. All council is invited. Is anybody here going to that? What? Good. And then June 1st, expected response to the federal grant reclaiming Gates Landing to the big project. So they're the housing project. We looking to get some response to that and more information on June 1st. And that was Corey's report. Any questions from anybody about that? Mr. Miller.
No, I had the Leduc County SSS meeting. At the meeting, we decided that our next meeting isn't going to be at the Leduc County building. There's actually an event that we're going to be, that all councils are invited to come out to. I couldn't find it in my book. I must have put it on the paper. I'll get that email sent out with all that information for everyone.
Yeah.
And then I had meetings with the lawyers as well to go over some of the water stuff. Attended the board Vapor concert on the weekend. From what I heard, it turned out really great. It was a good time for had a meeting with Terry from Calamar Council, Thorsby here, we chatted about a few things, what's going on with, in our town and our communities. We asked about the concert, yeah, I asked them about what they were doing, and they were looking at getting, trying to pass some permit for, a new company's building in there, in Calamar on the edge of town there. They're looking forward to that. Other than that, that's about all.
Yeah, thanks. Any questions? But I think Calamar's got, what was it? They got some kind of event coming up, 1,000 people every year.
That's, Canada Day.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was, right? Canada Day, yeah, they're having, kind of stepping on Breton's toes a little bit maybe, but, they're having a really big, gala there at the Canada Day. July 1st.
Some big hockey event, where they're, Savannah's talking about a couple times, and I'm so excited that I'm trying to put it together. It comes from down east, it's huge, they're working with the promoter, cost them, $10,000 to bring this event in, and it's hockey all weekend, and all sorts of different kinds of events.
Yeah.
Everything, I think.
Well, it can't be like, not ice hockey.
No.
Hockey, street
Or
hockey.
Yeah, it'd be ball hockey, it could
Yeah.
be just about anything, yeah. So, details I'm a little shy because it's not our event, but anyway, they're expecting a big crowd, and, all are welcome to attend.
All right, any other questions for, Councilor Miller?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and Councilor Musser, please.
All right, so this is for the month of April. I attended all regularly scheduled meetings. April 3rd, I hosted a community design meeting. April 18th was a library meeting. Our head librarian, Gail Sakuda, is resigning, and we shall advertise for a new librarian. Kids and teen programs have been successful. Career speakers have done some sessions. As always, everyone is welcome to attend. The library will have a parade entry. April 19th is volunteer appreciation event, and I attended that. April 20th, Chamber of Commerce meeting. The priority at that time was getting the Gord Bamford concert up and running. April 21st, I did a Commissioner's Oath signing. April 27th, I worked as paymaster for the senior bingo. April 28th, I attended the Sunnybrook Welding grand opening. And it's an excellent business to have in our backyard. They could possibly help us with some power issues. That's what I learned.
When is Gail's last day?
Gail, mid-June.
Mid-June?
Yeah, she gave 2 months. She moved to Edmonton. She was going to move to Leduc, and then she moved to Edmonton. It was a bit too much of a commute.
Any questions for Councilor Musser?
So yes, do you know anybody who wants to be a librarian? Let them know.
All right, thank you. Councilor Ash, please.
All right, for the month of April, so April 3rd, we had a FCSS volunteer appreciation planning meeting, and we also had, I feel like I've been confused maybe on a couple of these meetings, we got this stuff, but I have Carol Tabone came and presented to us, who of course you guys should know is from Leduc County, and she runs the Family Resource Center. So she came and talked to us in regards to that. On the 11th, we had our regular community of the whole meeting. On April 18th, we had our library board. So right now, we're just in the process of reviewing bylaws and policies, trying to get every meeting so we can start with those moving forward. As Tracy said, discuss the May long weekend. So we will have an entry on that. Our librarian, as Tracy mentioned, gave her 2 months notice. She'll be done in June. One really cool thing that we learned at that meeting, which I didn't know, was that we have a lot, and they're bringing in multiple language books for our community. Currently, we have Ukrainian, Spanish, and Cree books in our library available for our residents that speak those languages and are interested in that. And they also are trying to teach people about track, just so they know they can order in books from all the other libraries as well. They're also looking, I saw that at that point in time, we said they were looking at a virtual book club. Then I saw online they're advertising that they do have a virtual book, yeah. So now I guess we're involved in a virtual book club, which is kind of cool, I think. And then we're still, as far as I know, planning the National Aboriginal Day event, but they hadn't picked a date as of yet. It was possibly June 14th. And I know Carol Tabone had made a great suggestion that perhaps the Family Resource Center could contribute as well and do Banneking tea or something like that. So that was kind of a really neat idea. April 19th, as was mentioned, was Volunteer Appreciation. Due to work, I wasn't able to attend, but I heard many great things about the event. I was able to help Michaela Pryor with giving her and helping her compile the volunteer list and taking out letters to all, half of the community businesses, and started doing some collections on that front for the awesome event. And then on April 25th, the regular council meeting, I was unable to attend due to work. And then, I just said I read the minutes, but I was waiting for the meeting to be posted, and I know there was issues with the audio. And I did let Jesse know, because usually the audio sucks on those postings as it is, but whatever Jesse did, the audio is amazing and clear. Like, I was like, I can actually hear people. This is awesome.
I just stayed at home and I ran up to post and I was like, how can I clean up this audio? And I was able to go through and start to, that's why I didn't know. I start to like segregate which parts.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
Okay.
not doing that every time, but
no, that's
like
way
hours
too
of
much
my weekend.
word. No, I was like, oh my gosh, it's crystal clear. Like, this is cool. Then obviously Jesse doesn't want to do that every time. And then the only other public relations thing I did in April was a volunteer for the seniors meet bingo. That was my big excitement for April, and I think that was it.
Good. Questions? Any questions? All right, if not, can I get a motion to accept 5.1 through 5.5 for information? Thank you. All in favor? Carried. All right. Day report, 6.1. Donna.
Mr. Mayor, do you want these read or do you want me to stand for questions?
What's the wish?
This is the first time seeing.
Yeah.
So I've not
Presenter
read not
would be
one word.
I think for the gallery, you guys would like to hear it, wouldn't you?
That's fine. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right.
We just want to make your life miserable.
I love you guys. Okay, so for the month of April, we met with the county planning team, Liz and I, in county council chambers to discuss the changes to the municipal development plan and the intermunicipal framework, and both bylaws and plans were presented to council regular on 28th and 25th. The ICF is a framework to facilitate cooperation between neighboring municipalities to ensure services are provided to residents efficiently and cost effectively. And the IDP makes recommendations to council for managing or changing land use and to address growth issues in ways represented in the county. And Thorsby, who share borders, and the county did, along with Liz and I, did a lot of heavy lifting on this just to make sure that we had the right changes. And of course, council had it on their package, and you probably noticed from the council package there wasn't a whole lot of red lines. It was mostly small changes, which is good. So those documents are legislative. We can't get out of them, so we have to review them. And I'm hoping that you all had a wonderful time reading them. Last council meeting, we met in Kalmar for 3 days of interviewing community peace officers. Final interview took place on May 4th in Kalmar. A decision was made. We re-interviewed someone else last week, and a decision has been made, and that peace officer we had to do on October. In the meantime, we'll have an agreement with Kalmar that as soon as this fall year he will come, and they will have a rookie end of December. The way the courses go, it was we tried really hard, but we didn't have a lot of qualified candidates. So this candidate has post-secondary education, middle street education. He has to go to built-in college induction peace officer probably, he'll come out of level 1 peace officer in December. He'll be a rookie, so he'll have to ride around slowly for a while, which is good. He'll have all the training he needs to do a good job, and we're pretty experienced out here managing. So 20 hours a week probably. End of January. So far, we're handling the bylaw calls as they happen because a lot of it falls under my purview as a CAO, so nothing too horrible yet. Building demolition has been advanced for RFP submission to May 31st, 2023. As for gas, of course, as you know, you have to wait because you have to dig up the back alley to turn the gas off and remove the pipe. And final report from asbestos consultant, structural engineer for liquor store wall and asbestos. Asbestos consultants are coming, we'll have a quote from them tomorrow. They'll be here probably next week just to tell us two things, where it is and what to do with it. And we don't anticipate a lot of asbestos in that building, I'll be honest with you, because there's some new rules about how the asbestos is glued into the tile or glued into the ceiling tile, so if you move it, it doesn't come loose out of the glue. So we'll wait for that, and the structural engineer will have him come back because we're not sure the integrity of the liquor store wall that building is bordering, so we want to make sure the integrity of the block can withstand, and of course, we'll work with the liquor store owner, the contractor, whoever is a successful bidder, we'll work with the liquor store owner to determine what we do with that wall. We have to pick that building apart, and it's going to take a while. So Hankin Street will be disrupted for as long as it takes to do that properly. We have to take our time with that building, which is okay. And all the updates are on the web for anybody who is watching it. And then they know when it comes. So when the structural engineer comes out, he has his report about that wall. We'll put it on the website under the demolition. You're welcome to look at it too. If the asbestos recommendation, that will be on there as well because these bidders will put out. So we have about 4 bidders interested, and we have 1 submitted already. Our safety codes, total quality management plan is complete and sent in, and that's for fire discipline, plumbing discipline, electrical discipline, and so forth. And I must publicly, I want to publicly acknowledge Jesse for a lot of hard work. Took a lot of stuff off my shoulders with that one, and she learned lots, so it's really exciting to do. Great job, Jeff. We're working with the auditors and CFO to complete everything for their visit and testing samples, of course, and that's coming to fruition. I was very fortunate to be able to attend the volunteer appreciation meeting with 120 attendants, and our compliments for a great job to the SPSS board, the SPSS coordinator, caterers, and the kinds of all staff, and helping set up the hall. Met with the county, updating them on the high-level progress rewater, CAO to CAO, last Monday, and that was about a 40-minute meeting, pretty fun. We finally rectified the remote access to work from my office in the Duke. Amen. Cindy got her done first.
So much better.
Oh gosh, I'm so excited. So we're just putting the final touches on the procedure. It's a lot quicker, and CFO Cindy's already noticing the difference. I noticed the difference on the weekend. It was less than. We met with Catalyst, Mr. Kearley and I, regarding canceling the contract. This is the old Unisite software, and there's discrepancies in billing and hours used for service requests, and it doesn't serve the municipality function. And they're going to give us back a report that there's no out clause on that contract. We did not sign it, and they won't let us out. So we indicated that they charge us extra for service hours. Last year we were charging an extra $11,000 for service hours, to which we are disputed. We didn't use them. They say we have 100 hours. We say they charged us per hour, and we get pretty good track of it. We want to get out of this contract so we can go with Mr. Rose's information out of program out of Beaumont. So we've indicated to them that because they didn't meet with us, because they didn't talk to us until just in May, we return our phone calls. We're considering that a group. So we're not letting up on it. And we've worked with Communities of Bloom through the MOA for April, and that's all signed and done. And our liaison is Ms. Brightman, and we're working very well with her, so it's great. And of course, attended the 3920 meeting as I found out the COs were expected to attend. I didn't know that before, but that's okay, maybe that. And also attended the 3920 meeting in Kalmar, and we're hosting in May.
Actually, we're both wrong. I said June, you said May. It's actually, July the, July the 26th. Because it's quarterly and we met in April.
Well, we had all our months covered. We're gonna need some more.
It's gonna be all the time.
We're gonna need every month. Oh my God. Apologize for that. We had some brief go forwards, we believe, as CAOs, but we'll see what happens. We have our new practice student, Taylor Gatsky from Windsor Polytechnic. This is my alma mater, and we'll work with us until June 16th. Right now, she is currently part of administration, setting up office, setting up files, setting up accounts. She is working on resetting the whole entire public works server. And we're in a week. And I think, yeah. And the electronic sign contacted us. In fact, I phoned them when they were about to phone me. We don't have an installation date, but they know where it is. We're going to start the line locating. So that will be a great godsend. So I'm thinking probably by the time the fourth form, the line will be. I'm hoping into June the sign's up, and or even in July, and then Jeff will be training to operate. So on its way. That is my report.
Thank you. Questions, anybody? All right, 6.2, I guess we'll forego that one. Andrew's not here. 6.3, the Parks and Recreation Manager Report.
I have it, Mr. Mayor, Your Worship. We have active memberships for April is 88, and Arctic Spas 11 active. The Go Girl event was a huge success. It was sold out, and it has the same level of success as it did 4 or 5 years ago. Like, it's an incredible program, and lots of planning. Lord Bamford concert, of course, ongoing meetings. Every meeting, we have a wrap-up meeting next Tuesday, I believe, in the afternoon. And 77 volunteers that are working to put on the concert. And, ticket sales were just over 60,000 with all VIP and platinum people sold. We sold out the morning of the concert. The new dance studio is awesome up there, and that was where the meet and greet was, and it was beautiful up there. It was well done. A long weekend, the family fun afternoon from 12:30 to 3:30 on the recreation ground. And of course, if the weather's nasty, inside it goes. Michaela booked entertainers and activities, and of course, there's a ball tournament, there's beer gardens, outdoor market, grad barbecue. So there's lots going on that weekend. The hockey dressing room, I've seen the finish on the flooring in the new dressing room. It hadn't been maintained over the years, and it looked dirty all the time, even though they were clean. There's discussion as to whether they would have to be replaced, and then using the same product that we purchased in the field house floors, Denise restored them. To a new appearance. Denise restored them, and have the picture. Yeah, look at the second one. The first and second. She did. Yeah, no, that's the difference right there. Denise worked. Can't do anything without Denise. We just decided. She's awesome. So those are the pictures. The recreation grounds cleanup, Thorsby Ball is spending 6 hours getting ball items ready for the season and pulling weeds, prepping the shale, trimming the overgrown grass along the fence sides of the fences. And we thank them very much for that. We have mowed, but of course, we had to suspend mowing. We'll probably mow again, probably the first of the week or later on this week, depending on the rain and so forth. The Olympia has gone into Big Hill Services for full service. This happens every 2 years. We're on a maintenance program here, and we're sticking to it. So it'll be expected back in summer. Back here from early. No, that concludes the report, Worship and Council.
Okay, questions?
I have some thoughts on the floor in the dressing room. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know when the red floor was done, they wanted to stop be worn in there or running shoes. Of course, that's not always been followed. for the most part, it's not blades, and I wonder how the blades will behave on that floor. Going into the dressing rooms, using the same product in the dressing room. It looks great now, but I'm thinking once the blades hit it from the hot seat.
What's the same floor?
Just the polish and the finishing. The field house floor, we finished it ourselves, we resealed it with the proper stuff. The field house floor was never sealed properly, that's why we ended up with red stuff all over the
No, I know, and that will last fine because it doesn't have
And this is
blades
the
on it.
same product, it's like a polymer coating.
No, we'll see, what time will tell, but it's like walking over these things.
Yeah, this is
It's not gonna,
Not gonna last, but it looks great now. That's fantastic.
well, if she's being realistic, like blades are gonna cut it up regardless.
Yeah.
But I mean, it looks,
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I think it looks good. I guess we'll see, it's a special polymer thing, it's not a polish. No, it's not a polish, it's a polymer cover. No, it's not a shellac, it's like a polymer rubber cover.
oh, like the field.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be more durable, it
shouldn't cut it
unless
off.
someone's deliberately dragging their foot from one spot,
There's movement.
Yeah, no,
and
it's not a
it'll
wax.
flex with skates walking on it, not damage skates with them.
Thanks for that, Counselor, I appreciate that. It's not a wax.
Like that cushy.
All right, any other questions?
The dance studio, at the field house, over at the field house.
Yeah.
I was on the recreational medicine program, and we were going to use that room where the dance studio is now. And we were told, we could not use it for that reason. Because it's got to be for everybody to get up there, and we would need an elevator. Has that rule changed?
Well, we don't have an elevator. It's completely redone, new flooring and everything, new paint and everything in it. It could be used as a dance studio or anything else in there. And we also have the Lions room up there, it's completely finished as well, and it could be used as a meeting room as well. So I gotta be honest with you, I don't know what happened quite a few years ago, I have no knowledge of that. But it's not a room that's been locked off for any particular group, but it's good for dancing classes. We do have a dance teacher coming in the fall, that'll be good, but when it's not used for dance, it can be used for other things as well. And same with the old Lions room as well, like the boardroom or whatever.
It's basically, to enable anybody to go to the room.
So handicapped accessible.
Yeah.
There's no question, it's putting an elevator in there is probably $350,000. Now, that's not saying we shouldn't. I don't know if that building was ever built with an elevator shaft in it, I don't think so. No, so we'd have to.
I mean, originally that was allowance for the current club,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
so.
So we have to retrofit some structure. That's why, we have to put a shaft in there. Would be $350,000, but that doesn't mean that we can't do it.
Yeah.
Or I could pass
We can cut your wages instead.
100%. Not half, 100%.
Yeah, those stairs even coming down out of the dance studio on the outside of the field, those are really steep. Like, they almost should have been landing. Like, there is a handrail, but some of them.
Oh.
Okay. So I do believe after all, we need some refurbishment there, there's no question. And we get enough money, maybe there's a roof and an elevator coming, I don't know. But it's really, it's not accessible if you're having that.
We could maybe put a stair rider.
Yeah, that's right.
That flight of stairs. They're only.
Oh, thanks.
Well, they're cheaper than when you were.
Yeah.
Cheaper than an elevator.
Cheaper than $350,000 elevator.
We'd have to look at safety codes on that one, because I think we have to change railing, and I don't know if it's allowed, but
so you gotta make sure somebody's there, so kids aren't.
That's the next one.
Locked off.
And falls off that.
Yeah. I'd have to check with, we'd have to check with building.
That'd be fun.
I guarantee you, that'd be the next carnival ride.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's slow.
My nieces like my dad, they think it's cool.
Well, then it would be a lover's lane chair. How's that?
All right, any other, questions? What, can I get a motion to accept 6.1, 2, and 3 for information? Okay, Jill, all in favor? Carried. 7.1, CFA report.
I don't see a thing. Yeah. Lot of work. Okay, so we processed the property tax assessments and sent them out in the mail. They've gone up mostly, gone up more than that. Spent the majority of my time getting documents and financials ready for the audit. They were here Friday. They were here Friday, they got lots done, so now they're gonna start working on it again. Surgery, other things. On the 23rd, we'll have it ready for our meeting. Submitted the request to Water for Life grant to have the first payment of funds forwarded, and they are sending us $150,000, which should be in our account in advance. We got held up because of their year end. Government's year end is March 31st. So they couldn't process anything after that.
Just a question. So we received a grant, but we had to front the money until the work was done, and then they would give us.
Yeah, we got the first payment, and so when I talked to him, we had already spent $108. Okay, I'll send you 150. You're gonna be spending more, obviously, because you're well underway, and it's, yeah. And the final payment will come, so we're done. So yeah, so with their year end and then the election being called, it got delayed. But I did use all the other things. For financial information, $75,582 in outstanding utilities as of April 30th, of which $5,285.49 is subject to shut off. Outstanding taxes, which is going down slightly, $133,671.83, and of which $53,338 is up for tax recovery. All of those, I think I said this last time, all those registered. And then 75,000 of that is from this 2020. Our bank balances in our operating account, there was $69.13 on April 30th. Our savings account, $1.3 million, and our line of credit was at just looking at percentages, we're pretty much on par for the field house is a little high, just because they had a bunch of stuff work done at the beginning of the year, which made up a lot of their budget. But everything else is pretty on par. Like we should be on pretty good.
So this is, I guess, somewhat to do with this, because I had a question come to me in regard to the churches and the maintenance of the cemeteries.
Yeah.
And I know we've been paying a contractor to do that work, but the churches haven't been invoiced.
Yeah, no, they haven't yet, but we broke down, we got the breakdown of all the hours for last year, and they will.
Because I know they're concerned because they don't budget for large.
Yeah, John has spoken. Yeah, it's not a.
But even a couple thousand bucks is a lot of money.
We're a little.
Yes. Any other questions? Okay, I get a motion to accept the CFA report, please.
the report.
In favor? Carried. Yes,
just to let you know, I used my, phone. I wanted to let them know this timeline.
so you want to go right into?
No, they're good. I
Okay.
just wanted a time frame, but I know I was texting and I just wanted to,
Okay.
do that formally.
Okay, correspondence, 8.1, the Duke Regional Housing Foundation, man, it's, 129 pages, and, you know, they're predicting what they need for housing right up to 2032, so I mean, I think it's way above my pay grade here, but I just accept it as for information, and anybody wants to, because I mean, you could spend, you could spend a year looking at this thing, all the stuff that's in there.
The NGA on one side and the on the other side.
Yeah.
I'll move to accept it for information.
Yeah. Thank you. All in favor? Carried. I was gonna wait for 8.2, but that's fine. We'll go separate. Minister's Award for Municipal and Public Library Excellence. You library ladies seen this before?
Library lady.
Look on their face, they have no idea.
Oh, yeah, I'm like,
It's just, anybody, can,
we would nominate people?
yeah,
No.
nomination for,
Okay.
I think we should.
so, not sure, I think deadline for submission is June 15th. You want to look at that and pass it on to the library board, or do anything, or you guys have any thoughts on it? I'll leave it in your capable hands.
You have a copy of your agenda.
And we could,
I know, I'm just trying to read it and figure out like what we could send it to or discuss it. We have a meeting next week, right?
I believe the letter did go to.
we call it small municipalities, and I was thinking last week about all the things the library does with the enhancing community safety, good stuff that Gail did around that a while ago, or service delivery enhancement, and she had all those professionals coming to reading and all that sort of thing, and indigenous and that, so I mean, certainly got lots of categories.
Yeah, so I was wondering what we have no, the programs are awesome, and the people they bring in are excellent. We're fortunate to have
Apparently, there's been no application.
Debbie Towner, Tracy Towner.
Is she built the Lewis Library? Or she got a library
That's what they
position in
said.
Edmonton?
But I think she's working in the Duke, right?
They're lucky to have her as well. There's a chance.
All right, thank you for that. Motion to accept that as correspondence? Please, favor? Carried, thank you. All right, so, need a motion to take a 10-minute recess before we go into camera?
Can I ask some questions?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
So I don't know if we know the answer to this or not, but I had someone ask me about the Highway 39, the paving project they're working on. Do we know what areas they're paving?
The 3920?
Or the Highway 39 paving project?
Between Clare and Warburg, there's a sign, I think it is.
Is it-
New crop, yeah, they're redoing the highway. I think they're starting painting from out,
All the way to,
probably from the start of the roundabout out, and then how far they decide to go, all the way to Drayton or.
They definitely have to go through, Calmar because it's so bad there, that highway. I have a feeling that it's not bad in this section here around Davenport. And then I have a sneaking suspicion they've got some done from Outside to that small town, and then I think they'll head into Drayton Field, but they usually have maps, but they haven't. I can go on the transportation website and give you an update.
I'm sure it's just resurfacing, that's all.
Yeah, it won't be.
They don't ever do
full.
And Leduc, they're starting on the overpass to Highway 39, by South Common, just, South Common Airport, you see all that dirt work they're doing there, and the Graham,
I'm not very observant.
and, that's the overpass, it's gonna tie in Highway 39, it's gonna probably end up, I'm not sure where it ties in, I think it's right past that,
Yeah, I think
that
that's
new
what
housing
it is.
there.
Have you seen that, the actual drawing for it?
Yeah. So it's gonna tie
It
in
is a
there,
Band-Aid.
just past that high school.
Look at the Band-Aid.
Oh, looks like it's
Band-Aid
made.
too.
39, or the interchange, yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't even like, I don't know, I think it's,
But I mean, they're so far behind in that stuff. I mean, in 2000, when I was in council 20 years ago, it went from Calmar to Leduc. It is 2023, and 20 years later, they still haven't done it. So,
it's not even on there.
Oh, you're talking about the Devon, I was
Yeah.
still sitting here trying to figure out where that, I'm like, oh, I know now, all right. Yeah, that's enough. The assessments, have you had a lot of questions?
I don't think so.
Really?
We've given out one card for this. Maybe show something cool.
And people can directly call themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people.
Yeah, because that's what I did.
Yeah, most people, their first instinct is to go online and look, and so they would find.
Oh, yeah, you can even
But
do
it's changed
everything.
apparently.
They told us.
I understand the city of Edmonton is really, theirs went up, like, some of the places went up 30% their houses. That with the tax increase, like, they're gonna get it double whammy there.
What's concerning too is your assessments go up and some, I'm not saying this for everything, but some municipalities look at the windfall of money, and they don't put it away in their stabilization fund or reserve, they just go, this week for spending, and I think we're heading, my opinion, economic thoughts that I've been reading are, we're heading for a recession next year. And if we don't have, we aren't prudent, which we are here, we're being very prudent. A lot of these are going to get cut very short, and a lot of homeowners are going to get cut very short, and we're being very prudent.
So back to the Highway 39 paving.
Yeah. Oh, good girl.
It looks like it's going from Leduc to the roundabout, then from the roundabout, just past Calmar.
Calmar being very done.
And then up like, what's that one that goes to Wizard Lake?
Yes, 795.
795, yeah, that goes south, 795, it's gonna get a little bit to the edge of Calmar. From the road construction map on the province of Alberta.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think it's coming out this way quite yet.
Hey, Irene, did you have a question?
Yes, events are being arranged for spring cleanup this year.
We are, not exactly sure where to put the bins, it's going to either come towards the end of May or start of June, it will be here. Probably have them outside, we're thinking of the rest there, we sent them in and monitor them.
And you have two.
Yeah. We will. 100%.
Adam, who always helps us.
Yep.
Did an amazing job.
He will help us again. We give them a stipend, we give them a daily, contract fee, I guess. It's probably, and he has his own name tag and vest, and we're happy to have him there. And he can also shop there if he so chooses. So that's a good thing. And so, it'll be, we had a great place for it last year. It, certainly cleaned up the town, a little too much. So we're gonna control it. So it'll be close to the rec center in that fence, and can fence it off at night so people can't just dump in the night. So I would say stay tuned.
Also, in my opinion, I think it's a little disrespectful to wear a headgear at a meeting.
Good thing Phyllis Medusa is here.
Just knocked off my head.
Absolutely.
No, it's men. It's men in general are not allowed to walk into.
I think it was just the most, I forget sometimes myself. I've been wearing a hat all my time, and I'm sure Councilor
Nothing
John,
more
I'll
than
take
that, well, I come to council, or you would have got told.
No. Oh, yeah, I'm old. But, yeah, I'm sure, I'll speak for council, yeah, I should have noticed it myself, but I didn't. Sorry,
I know
Ron.
we've been in meetings here where guys have walked in and Phyllis has got up and told them to remove the grass or remove the grass.
Oh, it's my fault, I didn't notice.
Usually a pretty good split.
Yeah.
I've gone to the table.
Thank you for bringing that up. Anything else?
No, I'm done.
Yeah.
Well, there's one, it's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
My question is, our construction site monitor, there's a new build on 53rd Avenue, has a deep trench and two large, open areas between the sidewalk and the construction area.
So they're putting in the gas, I think, all I will say in public is, that's my problem child.
It's deep though, it's like 6 foot deep,
Yeah,
like,
it's supposed to be fenced, I drove by there today to look, I know exactly where you mean.
That's been there for a little while.
Yeah,
there's little kids that live.
I'll deal with it. Something after.
Not connected at all?
No, it's not.
And it's like what Shelley says, it's a
No, I totally agree.
And what the hell are they gonna do for a driveway? It's high up.
I'm on it.
Looking at it today, and I'm, look, it's like a little house on the
There's
prairie.
fence panels there, but they're laying on the ground.
Everything that I have to ask.
No.
in there, so I can see it.
So, because I gotta come rescue you.
You probably would if it's too deep.
I know. Kitty corner from your face.
So we can't say when I see it.
I know, I drove by there today, I was doing my rounds today, and I'm on it. That's all I want to say. Just want to say one. No sedation. Good question, no. Yeah. If you call occupation health and safety, they don't come. If you call, there's other problems, you call it in it. So if there will be enough order issues. You're welcome.
Anything else? Oh, it's good. All right, then, motion to take a 10-minute recess here before we, go to camera.
I'll make that one.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you.
Taylor is Fairview gas. Oh, you're the gas station in this town. Okay.
And you're those three.
Okay, I was putting you as to be by Kavanaugh. There's a gas that is under rolling, it's a farm grinding. Now I know.